whip be a horse, no Rory. I'm switching the lanes, no Tory. So hot, just call me Safari. I'm ice out, look at the glory. My ops gon' bow before me. Talk shit, then it's gon' be gory. Road dogs pulled up with a big strap. Real killer so cold, I ain't sorry. Me and BZ know we go way back. In the basement, whipping the playback. Mistakes I done pay for my sins, though. Took L's, now I'm coming for payback. These rats better know I don't play that. All the shit they talk, get traced back. Excalibur, look how I slay that. Like bad boy, take that.
Yo, man, what's up? Why they keep playing with the team? I don't know, man. They ain't know that we dream team? I guess not. Let's go. Yo, stop playing. Just let them know.
Hey, do we got a extra extension cord? Do we got an extra extension cord to charge Captain computer?
I'm switching the lanes, no Tory. So hot, just call me Safari. I'm ice out, look at the glory. My ops gon' bow before me.
And we have an extra.
Gon' be gory. Road dogs pulled up with a big strap. Real killer so cold, I ain't sorry. Me and BZ know we go way back. In the basement, whipping the playback. Mistakes I done pay for my sins, though. Took L's, now I'm coming for payback. These rats better know I don't play that. All the shit they talk, get traced back. Excalibur, look how I slay that. Like bad boy, take that.
Yo, man, what's up? Why they keep playing with the team? I don't know, man. They ain't know that we dream team? I guess not. Let's go. Yo, stop playing. Just let them know.
My whip be a horse, no Rory. I'm switching the lanes, no Tory. So hot, just call me Safari. I'm ice out, look at the glory. My ops gon' bow before me. Talk shit, then it's gon' be gory. Road dogs pulled up with a big strap. Real killer so cold, I ain't sorry. Me and BZ know we go way back. In the basement, whipping the playback. Mistakes I done pay for my sins, though. Took L's, now I'm coming for payback. These rats better know I don't play that. All the shit they talk, get traced back. Excalibur, look how I slay that. Like bad boy, take that.
Yo, man, what's up? Why they keep playing with the team? I don't know, man. They ain't know that we dream team? I guess not. Let's go. Yo, stop playing. Just let them know.
My whip be a horse, no Rory. I'm switching the lanes, no Tory. So hot, just call me Safari. I'm ice out, look at the glory. My ops gon' bow before me. Talk shit, then it's gon' be gory. Road dogs pulled up with a big strap.
Testing 1 2. Everybody, we will be starting in 4 minutes. 4 minutes we'll be starting. So let's settle down. Let's get to our seats. We got to start in 4 minutes. Kids, let's get in order, kids.
Yo, man, what's up? Why they keep playing with the team? I don't know, man. They ain't know that we dream team? I guess
Get
not.
the kids in order.
Yo, stop playing. Just let them know.
Settle down, everyone in the audience.
My whip be a horse, no Rory. I'm switching the lanes, no Tory. So hot, just call me Safari. I'm ice out, look at the glory. My ops gon' bow before me. Talk shit, then it's gon' be gory. Road dogs pulled up with a big strap. Real killer so cold, I ain't sorry. Me and BZ know we go way back. In the basement, whipping the playback. Mistakes I done pay for my sins, though. Took L's, now I'm coming for payback. These rats better know I don't play that. All the shit they talk, get traced back. Excalibur, look how I slay that. Like bad boy, take that.
Yo, man, what's up? Why they keep playing with the team? I don't know, man. They ain't know that we dream team? I guess not. Let's go. Yo, stop playing. Just let them know.
My whip be a horse, no Rory. I'm switching the lanes, no Tory. So hot, just call me Safari. I'm ice out, look at the glory. My ops gon' bow before me. Talk shit, then it's gon' be gory. Road dogs pulled up with a big strap. Real killer so cold, I ain't sorry. Me and BZ know we go way back. In the basement, whipping the playback. Mistakes I done pay for my sins, though. Took L's, now I'm coming for payback. These rats better know I don't play that. All the shit they talk, get traced back. Excalibur, look how I slay that. Like bad boy, take that.
Yo, man, what's up? Why they keep playing with the team? I don't know, man. They ain't know that we dream team? I guess not. Let's go. Yo, stop playing. Just let them know.
whip be a horse, no Rari. I'm switching the lanes, no Tory. So hot, just call me Safari. I'm ice out, look at the glory. My ops gon' bow before me. Talk shit, then it's gon' be gory. Road dogs pulled up with a big strap. Real killers so cold, I ain't sorry. Me and BZ know we go way back. In the basement, whipping the playback. Mistakes I done pay for my sins, though. Took L's, now I'm coming for payback. These rats better know I don't play that. All the shit they talk, get traced back. Excalibur, look how I slay that. Like bad boy, take that.
Yo, man, what's up? Why they keep playing with the team? I don't know, man. They ain't know that we dream team? I guess not. Let's go. Yo, stop playing. Stop let them know. Let's
My whip be a horse, no Rari. I'm switching the lanes, no Tory. So hot, just call me Safari. I'm ice out, look at the glory. My ops gon' bow before me. Talk shit, then it's gon' be gory. Road dogs pulled up with a big strap. Real killers so cold, I ain't sorry. Me and BZ know we go way back. In the basement, whipping the playback. Mistakes I done pay for my sins, though. Took L's, now I'm coming for payback. These rats better know I don't play that. All the shit they talk, get traced back. Excalibur, look how I slay that. Like bad boy, take that.
Yo, man, what's up? Why they keep playing with the team? I don't know, man. They ain't know that we dream team? I guess not. Yo, stop playing. Stop let them know.
Check. Microphone check.
Okay. Yes. Shalom, family. Most high in Christ. Bless. How y'all doing? All praises. Hey, welcome to the Nehemiah Squad. This is our 3rd episode. All right, let me reintroduce myself. And no, I'm not Jay-Z. All right, I'm Captain Zakai. I'm here with
Officer Shem. Officer Judah.
all praises. Oh man, yeah, it's good to be here. We're gonna have a great show tonight. We're gonna be talking about reparations. All right. It's a big thing going on throughout the whole country, but mainly California is like ground zero. You know what I mean? California is like ground zero. There's a lot going on here. And we have a special guest tonight who is on the forefront of reparations, right? So, and what we want to discuss tonight, family, is what's happening with the reparations movement and what the Bible says about the reparations that's going to come. All right? So we're going to introduce our very special guest, is a good brother right here, Chris Lod. Let me get my brother on the screen. Hey, Chris. Hey, give it up for Chris. This man working hard. What's going on?
Peace.
Yes, sir. And let me and Chris is actually with an organization called Coalition for a Just and Equitable California. All right, yes, sir. CJEC. All right, so he going hard for Cali, but listen, I got to throw this out there. This man is from Brooklyn. All right,
Bring it out.
Cali hating. Look, we don't hear nothing in the background. No cheers, no
Not
nothing.
one clap.
Oh man, yes, Chris. Hey, it's good to see you, man. Good to have you on the show. We had a good conversation last week, and I know you had some things going on
Yes.
that was supposed to happen last Wednesday and Thursday.
Yep.
And let's get into it. Let's start with you. And
Sure.
How did you get into this movement for reparations for our people?
Thank you so much, brother. And first, can I just give all praises to the Most High, and also all praises to each and every single one of you that's here right now, and everyone that is watching and going to be watching and listening to this amazing broadcast. So first, thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. It's an honor and a blessing. I always tell people that it's always humbling to me to be invited to speak anywhere about anything. So really, I just want to appreciate each and every single one of you for the opportunity.
Yes, sir.
And to your question about me, I got into the reparations work here in California, really starting in, let's say, 2016, 2017 to start, and then really got serious about it in, let's say, 2018 and 2019. So there was a period of about maybe 2.5 years where I and a lot of other folks were just trying to understand what the word meant, what was happening, if anything was happening, where were we, how likely were we to get to where we wanted to go, and then soon after that, about 2.5 years after that, after getting started, we actually got more serious and started to actually put our work in and actually work to make reparations more of a reality. And that's what we're working on right now. Originally from Brooklyn, as you mentioned, I was actually born in Manhattan, raised in Manhattan and Brooklyn, the Bed-Stuy, Brownsville area mostly, a little bit of the Bushwick area too.
Okay, you all right. You all right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, mostly that Ocean Hill, that intersection between the Stuy, the Ville, and Bushwick and all that.
Right.
But I've been some kind of active since I was a kid, but really in the reparation space, let's say in the since 2016, let's say.
Okay. And so why is California seem like the ground zero for this? It seems like California is making the most noise with the reparations movement. That's what it seems like to me. I could be wrong. But I know New York is just starting to do something. A couple other states are just starting to do something. And I don't know if they're trying to, in D.C., I know they're trying to push a little something through. And I don't know if that's like, okay, you know what? Let's just ride and sprinkle a little bit of pixie dust to make them feel like we're doing something, or is something actually happening? But why California being ground zero?
Yeah, I think that is, and you're absolutely right to point to other states and other places that's doing something they call reparations. There's something like 100 different cities, counties, and if you put the states in that, something like 100 different areas across the country that are right now doing something called reparations, or at least attempting to do something called reparations. So there is really a national movement going on. Why California? Though I think it really is about the people here in California who started working first, really, on this new reparations effort, this new reparations movement, and really, again, starts in, let's say, 2019, 2018, seriously. So I think California is what we call the first mover advantage, meaning we move first, and then other cities, other counties, other states said, we see what's going on out there. This is opportunity for us to do something too.
So let me ask you this, because this is like a big point, right? Why everything state to state? Why not? Because when we came here in slavery, right, we just got poured out all over the place, right? Our work, we built the entire country. Why is it going state by state? And the reason I ask this, right, actually the richer that particular state, right, quote unquote, let's say that those reparation dollars will be bigger for the people there, correct? That's what you would imagine.
Potentially,
right?
Yeah.
So why is that happening as opposed to just the whole country saying, hey, we owe these people, we got to pay X, and let it be that?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a brilliant question, a question that we wrestle with and we thought about and continue to think about every single day. But we really thought a lot about this when we were starting to get active here in the reparation space in California. I think there's a few different answers. One, because I think people recognize here in California and across other states that because the federal national government has been so slow and is 400 plus years late, and because there's been a national reparations bill to create a national reparations commission in Congress every 2 years, so every year really since 1988, and that bill has gone nowhere. I think people said, you know what, we're going to do what we could do locally, we're going to do what we could do statewide, and we think that's going to be good to then help encourage, incentivize, motivate the federal national government to move. And also, it also recognizes that although slavery and what came after slavery and emancipation, so-called, was definitely a national thing, but the states had a hand in it, the counties had a hand in it, the cities had a hand in it, schools had a hand in it, religious organizations had a hand in it, private individuals and businesses had a hand in it. And so I think the energy from us is everybody who owes got to pay.
Right.
So really, it don't matter where you at and where it's at. We're going to start where we could start, and everybody who owes got to pay. So I think it's a combination of folks saying, let's move how we can move now because the national government is so slow. And also, it also recognizes the fact that there is state responsibility, there's state, and there's county responsibility, there's city responsibility, there's national responsibility, and there must be accountability at each of those levels.
So here's my thing, right? So now you mentioned all these different accountabilities. What are the numbers? What are you looking for? right? So when you sit down with the team, what is the number? Because at the end of the day, bruh, they cannot pay us for the work that we did. Because I'm gonna bring some stuff to your attention, which I know you probably know about, right? Because I'm pretty sure you know some historical facts and stuff like that, or else there would be no sense in you doing what you're doing, right? But what's the number? Because and I don't want to. I just asked you a question. I hate to jump in, right?
No worries.
Because like we spoke last week, right? And I said that we sat down with Reverend Amos Brown, right? And hey, let me tell you something. He almost came on tonight, actually. I was shocked, but he actually almost came on tonight. It was amazing, but we just couldn't get it done, right? But when we sat down with him, right, and like I told you, CNN, he was on there and he said he was looking for $5 million, or they were offering $5 million a piece, so on and so forth. He turned that down. So what's the number that you're looking for that's going to say, okay, you know what, we got something going here?
Yeah. So let me answer this in an honest way, and I want to give you what we're looking at, what numbers we're looking at here. So first, I'm gonna start with what was taken from us. How much was taken from us?
Yes.
Okay? So let's start there, because that's going to help us understand how much is owed. So in order to understand how much is owed and what the number is, it's important to understand how much was taken from us and stolen from us, and how much people still have of our money. So the State Reparations Task Force here in California, which was created by a bill that we actually helped write the final version of, which was called Assembly Bill 3121, AB 3121. It was written, introduced, passed, and signed into law in 2019 and 2020 by then Assembly member Dr. Shirley Weber, now California's first Black Secretary of State, Dr. Shirley Weber. Okay. And we worked with Dr. Weber, Assembly member Weber, back when she was in the Assembly, and to help write the final version of that bill. That bill created a 9-member task force or team of people whose job it was partially to answer that question. That task force worked for 2 years, from June of 2021 through July of 2023. And part of what that task force did was help answer that question. Specifically, the task force hired a team of economists, national economists, folks like the late, great Bill Spriggs, who was professor of economics at Howard University, chief economist for the AFL-CIO, who passed away actually while he was serving on the task force's economist team. Dr. William Darity Jr. out of MIT and Duke, probably the foremost reparations economist in the country, if you ask me. Casey Campbell, who does great work, and Professor Thomas Kramer. This is the team of economists that the task force hired to answer partially this question. What that team of economists found, and this is in the final report of the State Reparations Task Force, I think it's chapter 17, I believe, chapter 17 or chapter 18. There's a whole chapter just breaking down the numbers with all kind of math and all kind of calculus and all kind of stuff.
What they got for us, Chris?
All right. So what the task force economists estimated was that just across a subgroup of the things that they looked at, that what was taken from us in California was close to $800 billion. Okay. So $800 billion in losses. So if, let's say, and that's across a small group of the things that they looked at, let's say that is what we call the number right now for the question that we answering.
Right.
If we just divided that number by the number of people who would potentially be eligible for reparations in California, which are individuals who are residents who are descendants of persons who were enslaved and emancipated in this country.
Right.
We're talking something like, hundreds of thousands of dollars per person. Okay.
Okay.
So that's if you divided it like that.
Right.
But what the team of economists said was that, or what they proposed was that we have 2 different kinds of ways to compensate people. First, everybody who's eligible should get checks. So everybody who's eligible should get checks, and how much you're eligible for should depend on how long you've lived in the state of California. So let me give you an example. Somebody who's, let's say the average 71-year-old California resident who's been living in California their whole life would be eligible to something close to $1 million in direct compensation. Okay? Personally. Somebody like myself I just turned 40. I've been in California maybe almost 10 years. I'll be eligible for less than that because I've been in California less. I'm still eligible because I'm a descendant and I'm a resident, but I will be eligible for less. So that's the model that the State Reparations Task Force is proposing. So not everyone would be eligible for the same thing. That's why it's kind of hard to give you an exact number for every single person. But that's what our state task force is recommending. So at minimum, the state owes us close to $1 trillion at minimum.
Right. So because this is what. Now, I just want to post something, right? I want to show something on the screen for you to see. Ciroc, you got that? Just post that up real quick. Because just discussing this part, right, like you just mentioned, let's just talk about the railroads. Let's just talk about the railroads, right? I'm going to get into a couple other things, but let's talk railroads. In order for them to build the railroads, every mile that they built train track, they got 20 miles that they stole, right? And so on and so forth. Not only did they get the 20 miles of where the track was going, but they got mileage on the sides of it, right? Now, who did they take this land from? They took it from, obviously, the Native Americans, right? So, boom. So you have that. But guess who worked for free the whole time building it? Yeah. The slaves, right? Our people, right? And then, guess what? The commerce that's going back and forth, right? You got to post that real quick, right? So we can have something to look at while I'm talking, right? We don't see anything, y'all. Right? Right? So it says African American railroad workers, right? This is small as hell.
Yeah, blow it up a little bit, y'all.
This looks crazy. Okay. All right, look at that. Look and check this out, Chris. Look, it says prior to the Civil War, nearly every they're saying nearly every, but it was every damn body. Right, yeah. Every railroad in the American South was built using slave labor. During the Civil War, 1861 to 65, U.S. military railroads employed thousands. They use the word employed. Dang. Thousands of African Americans in a strategically important effort of moving men and materials, enabling North to achieve victory, right? Hey, drop that for a second, y'all, right? Because that's basically what I want to show. Obviously, everybody can read the article on their own, right? Now, based on that, and then from then until now, all the commerce that has been going back and forth, we're talking about more than trillions, right? That we deserve. I'm just saying, right? If you want to look at it in those numbers. That's why I ask, what number would it be that we're going to be saying, you know what, this is a good number for us to walk away with? Right. You see what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous at this point. But go ahead. But you know what I'm saying?
No, I want to stay on this because I think that's right. And let me I completely agree with you. Yeah. Nationally, the figure is estimated to be at least $17 trillion. At least. That's nationally. Okay? And now that is based on a way to calculate the number in a certain way. There's different ways to calculate the numbers. Right. So for example, I'm thinking about some of the work that Professor William Darity Jr. has done to calculate the number in a different way. You could take the value of what we were promised at the end of the Civil War, the 40 acres and the mule. Right. You could take that and then use that value over time and put some interest on it. And you could come up with a number that way too. I think that gets us to something like 10 or 12 billion dollars 10 or 12 trillion dollars just in using what was promised to us during the 40 acres and the mule. Right. There are several other ways to look at this too. There are folks who have done great work on putting a cost and a number on what we're owed nationally. No matter what, it's going to be in the trillions of dollars, if not more. Right. So that's absolutely right. At the state level, though, we really had the task of coming up with what our state is responsible for. And that's a little bit different than what our national and federal government is responsible for. Sorry about my dog in the background there. Yeah, no problem. But that's exactly what our task was here, to figure out what our state is responsible for. It's a little bit of a different way of putting the numbers together. Right. But it's still a hell of a lot of money, and it's still what is owed to us. Well, so, of course, our economist said something around $1 trillion to start statewide. And then, of course, the federal government is going to have to pay what it owes also. But our economists estimated that something like $1 trillion was stolen in wealth from us just across a few of the areas that they looked at. And that is probably potentially what the bill is and what the number is. Now, let me say one more thing real quick. So,
Sure.
You know, what we also understand is that, and we make this case too, that because the harm done to us was over many generations, we expect that the repair will also be done over many generations also. So we don't expect that the national government or the federal government or the state governments are going to pay all of what they owe upfront at first. We expect them to try to make it a piece by piece thing or installment kind of thing. That's what we expect. And I want to give you an example of this because just last week, in the California state budget bill, which, by the way, California, as y'all know, is the fifth largest economy on planet Earth.
Right.
Our state of California has the fourth largest economy on the planet. We do more in economy here in the state of California than every other country in the world except for 3 or 4. And one of those 3 or 4 is our country. So we spend something like $250 billion, maybe $300 billion every single year here in California. That's our state budget. It's about $250, $280, $300 billion every year.
And that's mainly for military, because it's a lot of military in Cali. You know what I'm saying? Because when you come to really doing business, right?
Part of it.
That's a lot of big budgets going to the military. I just want to throw that in there.
That includes absolutely. It includes what we spend on state-related defense and supporting the national defense also.
Right.
You're right. We have large bases and all that kind of stuff here, Navy and all that here. But that also includes business. That includes every dollar that, and you don't have to take my word for it. The state budget is a public document. It was passed actually last week.
Right.
And every single dollar that we spend is outlined, itemized in there. And what's very important about this last state budget is that for the first time in all states' history, and I've not seen anything nationally either like this, for the first time, we actually have a line item for reparations in there. Now, the state last week approved something like $12 million to set aside just for reparations, just to seed a reparations effort. Okay? So obviously that's not enough, but it's a start. And it's the first time we've had any dollars at all set aside for reparations. And that passed last week or over the weekend.
Right.
There's more to say about that, but I just wanted to add that to it.
Right. So that 12 million, is that what DC, because I seen something in DC saying that they were creating something, but those $12 million are mainly to get it rolling, right? To do more research and so on and so forth. These are not actually $12 million that's being paid out to individuals.
This is money that will be used. So it's not money to do research. This is money that is, quote, technically reparations implementation funding. So
right.
This
What
is
does that
money.
mean?
So this basically means it's money to get the state ready to do the payouts. And there's certain things that you have to do to get ready to do the payouts. I'm gonna give you an example. Almost every other group that we know of, whether it be the family who were, the survivors of the Japanese mass incarceration, or or our indigenous brothers and sisters, etc. Every group had some kind of system, some kind of institution set up to then do their payouts. And so what we're working for right now is creating some kind of system like that too. We actually have a bill to create a new state agency that would be a reparations agency that would be responsible for doing all the payouts. This would be the place that we go to apply for reparations, which you are going to need that. You're going to need a place to go to apply. You're going to need a place to go to show that you're eligible. You're going to need a place to go to process your payments and process all your claims. You're going to need a place to complain to if you don't like the size of your check and all that kind of stuff, right? This money, part of this money helps set that agency up or helps set us up to do that. And the bill that we have to create this reparations implementation agency is called Senate Bill SB 1403. This bill would create the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency, whose job it would be to implement and monitor all things related to reparations. It would have inside of it an Office of Genealogy, whose job it is to help folks verify that they're eligible for reparations, and then ultimately be the place where people go to process their claims and process their payments. There's a bill to do this right now. And part of the money in that budget, in that 12 million, will be used to help get us set up to do all of the things. But you have to get set up first. Our state right now is not set up as a state to do actual reparations in a way that I think will actually work.
All right. Well, let me say this. Like, obviously, I'm very skeptical, right? And not because of your hard work, right? But we know how this man, right, has been dealing with us since the beginning of time, right? And he had many treaties with the Native Americans, broke every single one of them, right? Didn't keep one, right? So my thing is, let's say it all happens and now he has to pay out all descendants of American ADOS, that's American descendants of slaves, right? Let's say he does that. But who's coming after that now? Now the Native Americans are saying, well, wait a minute. They getting paid on behalf of the land that was stolen from us. During that railroad situation, that was 123 million acres stolen, bruh. The money is so ridiculously severe that them paying us, it will never stop. So just imagine, that's just on an American scale. We just talking about California right now, and then it's going to go through America. Let's just say, then the world. So just imagine, even Israel itself, right? I'm talking about the country of Israel. That place was literally built because of slave labor. The money that was made by the Rothschilds, and this is not anything. This is not hidden knowledge, right? The Rothschilds, when they sent the Balfour Declaration, right, or the Balfour Declaration was sent, right, saying that they were going to create Israel, they got that money from the slave labor, and that's how they were able to do that. They literally bailed out the whole country, paid all the slave owners. You remember about that? Okay, when the so-called British stopped the slave trade, they paid all the slave owners, nothing to the slaves, to the slave owners, wrapped it up in a tax bill, and it just ended like a few years ago, where they finally paid everybody out. Right.
Right. We did that here, and we also did a version of that here too. Right. I think in 1863 there was Lincoln signed a bill that compensated slave owners for $300 per for loss of their property. Right. And we also know that when our folks started to get 40 acres, so when those who did started to get some of that land in the southern coast, that land was then rescinded, taken back, and then returned to the slave owners. So we also had a version of that too. I might have meant to cut you off, but I'm agreeing with what you're saying about slave owners being paid.
Right. So at the end of the day, what I'm saying to you is that just imagine the state of Israel, we'll call it. That doesn't happen if we're not enslaved. Everything out here is here because of our enslavement. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, according to what we're looking at just naturally, right? And then I'm saying scripturally as well, the Lord said that we're not getting that. That's not the type of reparations we're gonna get. We all gonna get reparations. Don't get me wrong, bro. And it's not about going against y'all work. Because I told the brother, I told him last week, listen, if y'all get something and y'all want to throw me a $5 million, I'm gonna have to take it. I'm gonna have to take that $5 million and run with it.
Actually, we are circulating the list right now of everybody who said they don't want it, or everybody who was against it, and we ask you to put your name on the list, so that when it happens, we know you don't want it. Right.
But listen, I wouldn't get it anyway because my people from the Caribbean. That's a different fight. You know what I'm saying? We got to go fight the British, right? For some reparations, right? And they fighting over there, putting together whatever they putting together. But
interesting that you mentioned. So if I recall, and I did a little bit of looking at this recently. I don't know how far back y'all want to go, but let's go far back, right?
Get that time machine ready, brother.
When folks left Egypt,
yes, sir.
Right? Did they leave empty-handed?
No, they didn't.
What did they leave with? They left with stuff,
gold, all type of jewels
of the stuff that the enslavers, right. So and so I'm pointing to that because one, obviously, and y'all notice that reparations is not a new thing, right? There's many groups who've gotten reparations. Many different groups from way back, of course, to very recently. Actually, California, folks may not know this very widely, but California just paid reparations in the last, let's say, 4 or 5 years to victims of forced and involuntary sterilization. California, for about 100 years, from the early 1900s to the 1980s or so, was forcibly and involuntarily sterilizing our sisters and our women in prisons.
Right.
And we know this for a fact. We actually talked to some of the hope I didn't lose y'all. We talked to some of the people who were working on this. A sister by the name of Kelly Dillon, by the way, whose legal case was one of the things that sparked and energized and motivated the reparations fight for those sisters, a Black woman out of Oakland. And we talked to Sister Kelly Dillon, about her experience and whether she had any advice for us. And so, she and others are the recipients of a reparations program. And I'm talking about cash money, checks, compensation, direct compensation, just in the last 4 or 5 years. This is something that has happened for other groups, many other groups. We know that what happened to us is in many words far worse, and I hate to compare stuff, but many ways far worse than what happened to other groups.
The Bible says exactly that, bro. Right. Ours is the worst that ever happened on planet Earth. We know this, and God said it.
Yeah, and I would agree with that 1,000%. Mm-hmm. And so the question for me is, 1, do they owe? Yes, they owe. 2, do they have our money? Yes, they got our money. And 2, when and how they gonna pay? And that's what we're working on now. But this has happened for many other groups, and it will happen for us. We are, and I say this as much as I can to folks who I talk to about this, we are literally closer to reparations in California, let's say, than we've ever been. Okay. That is a literal fact. And I am very confident that California will be cutting checks. We're working very much hard on it now. But California, if and when we have our way, will be cutting checks. That then will help motivate other states to start cutting checks, and hopefully that will motivate the federal government to start cutting checks. Yes, the bill is, there's almost, even though I praise the task force economists for the work that they did, because I had never seen anybody actually put dollars and cents on what our losses were like that. I actually think that's a historical thing that they did. But we know ultimately that it's hard to put a value on the fact that my ancestors were human trafficked and then sex trafficked and then, tortured and then, it's hard to put dollar values on what happened to our families. But that doesn't mean that 0 is an answer. They have to do something, and they have to do as much as they can.
Well, that's what we would, but you brought something up, right? You mentioned about when our people left Egypt, that we didn't leave empty-handed. So the Lord in the prophecy is going to be the same thing again, right? So we just want to read something. Check this out, Chris, right? You might not have ever heard this. We're going to read this to you. This is a prophecy of the end times, right? When we now become the leaders again, right? Because that's happening. That's what's going to happen. Because in order for them to turn over all the money, like you're saying, that would make us equal to them. That's something they're not going to allow to happen. You know this. And as well as everybody else, right? You know that, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to read something where the Lord said we're going to be above all nations. So read that thing real quick.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 60 and 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee.
Right. So the sons of strangers, that's what? That's those other nations, right? Particularly this man who took us into slavery, right? Which is the Europeans, particularly them, and then beyond, because we were enslaved throughout everywhere all over the world, China, Japan, you name it. We were there as slaves. It's happened, right? So it's saying, read that again.
And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls.
Right. They're going to build up our walls. They're going to build our kingdom. Go ahead.
And their kings shall minister unto thee.
Uh-huh.
For in my wrath I smote thee.
Right. The Lord said, in my wrath, I put my hands on you, meaning the Israelites, meaning us. So-called Black Americans, West Indians, you know what I'm saying, Haitians, and the so-called Hispanics, right? Go ahead.
But in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, thy gates shall be open continually.
He said, when this kingdom get built, your gates is going to be open the entire time. Why them gates going to be open, Chris? Watch this. Come on.
They shall not be shut day nor night.
Come on.
That men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles.
That's what you're talking about. They're going to be bringing all of the money, the jewelry, all the things they stole. They're going to be bringing it right back to us. That's exactly what's going to happen. Go ahead.
And that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish.
You heard that? So, Chris, at the end of the day, the Lord is saying all them nations out there who did this to you, not only are they going to bring all the bread to you, all the riches and everything else, but they also going to serve you. They're going to recognize that you are the top nation on earth. I just got to throw that in there, Chris.
Right.
I got to give you something to, you know what I mean?
I'm not mad at that at all. And
We got to, you know what I mean? We want to make sure you hear the good news. This is the gospel, Chris. This is the gospel for real. But go ahead.
Paid what we sounds like we're gonna get what we owed.
Oh,
now,
100%.
Right. And you're absolutely right. There's, as we were saying to start with, when you asked, one of the great questions is, why do the state thing, why not do the national thing? Well, let's keep it real. There's other countries that was involved in our harm also. Right. Let's keep it real. They're European countries. Yeah. They are African countries.
Yes.
All right. Let's just keep it 1,000.
Yes.
So we take the position that everybody who owes got to pay at some point. Everybody. We're starting now for us here in California. We starting here because of all the reasons that we said. But it's absolutely the case that the national government owes, and that there are countries that are all across the world that are owed to us. And I am actually very confident that this is going to happen. But let's also be very real. This is already a fight, and it is going to increase as a fight, because the closer we get to our goal, the harder the fight is going to get. And I'm under no illusions that this is not going to be a very, very tough fight. But right now, I want y'all to be understanding and knowing and be proud of your people right now, because your people are on offense.
No, I know. Hey, Chris, swinging, like I told you, punching, yeah. I respect you because I see you digging in for real. But you're going to have some grades like me when this is over. You got a couple already? Yeah. It's going to fly real heavy, bro, the more you sticking in this thing, right? But there was something you told me about last week as far as Amendment 13 that y'all was trying to repeal.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Now, you know what I told you. I told you I don't think it's going to happen, but I don't know what happened. So what happened?
So let me give you the news. So
okay.
All right, so as you mentioned, we have a 13th Amendment to the federal national constitution, which allows a modern day form of slavery.
That's right.
It's called involuntary servitude, but really what this is another way to say slavery, because what is slavery but involuntary servitude? What is involuntary servitude but slavery? Right. One is a definition of the other, to be honest with you.
Right.
So, but in our national federal constitution, we have this exception for something called involuntary servitude that allows prisons to force paid and unpaid labor inside of the prisons. And our brothers and sisters who locked up behind the wall right now are enslaved literally right now at in the federal prisons. And California and 16 other states have a version of that in our state constitutions. So as y'all know, there's a federal national constitution for the whole country. And then each state has their own state level constitutions too. The state level constitution that we have has that same exception, that same allowing of involuntary servitude, slavery inside of it. It says something like slavery is prohibited, period. Involuntary servitude is prohibited, comma, except as punishment for a crime. And what that is allowing right now is CDCR, the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, the agency and department that runs all of our prisons, to force our brothers and sisters into paid and unpaid labor. And when I mean force, I mean very literally, meaning physical force, also force of if you don't work, you don't leave. If you don't work, you don't leave on time. If you don't work, we'll throw you in the hole. If you don't work, we restrict your canteen. If you don't work, we mess up your visitation. If you don't work, we say you can't go out on the yard. All these kind of things are being done right now, literally right now. Part of what I do, in addition to the work at the Coalition for a Just and Equitable California, I'm also a policy manager at an organization called the Anti-Recidivism Coalition. We have a program in every one of California's 32 prisons, meaning we are in the prisons every day here in California. We are in the juvenile halls in LA and Sacramento, where I am right now, every single day. As a matter of fact, I'm co-hosting a listening session tomorrow with some of our youth, 24 and under, 25 and under, who has some system impact to learn more about their experiences. So I'm only saying that to say that this is also part of the work that I do. So back to our Constitution, we have this exception for modern day slavery. We just call it involuntary servitude in our prisons.
Right.
We have been working here for the past 4 years in California to remove and strike and cancel that involuntary servitude, modern day slavery exception from our state constitution. The way to do that is a couple ways. In order to change your state constitution, you can take your idea to the voters directly, or you can take your ideas to the state legislature and then have them pass a bill to put your idea on the state ballot for the voters to vote on. Last week, we passed something called ACA 8, Assembly Constitutional Amendment 8. This will, when the voters of California in November have a chance to vote on it, this will finally remove that involuntary servitude exception from the state constitution. So last week we actually won a big battle.
So wait, hold on. So when they vote, they have to vote on it being removed? Is
the
that what it
voters
is?
of California? The voters of California will have to vote on it, because to change your state constitution, usually the voters of your state have to say that they want to do it or not, usually.
Okay.
So, but to get even to that, to even get to the ballot, to even put anything on your ballot in an election, you have to have your state Senate pass a bill. You have to have your state assembly pass a bill to actually do that. So you need to pass a bill in the assembly, which we did last year. You need to pass a bill in the Senate, which we did last week. And now we are finally on the ballot in November. And we're encouraging everybody in California to vote for the proposition to end modern day involuntary servitude slavery and stop the forced labor, stop the torture, stop the harm that's going on inside of our California prisons.
And like I said to you last week, right? Because the prison, the private prison industrial complex, right? Which this is a big business, right? Why would they allow? Remember, they're lobbying as well, just like big pharma, right? They're going to lobby to make sure certain things don't go through because they need that bread. Why would they? Because this is how they're making their money, with that free labor. So why would that change? Let me just read something to you real quick. All right, we like to throw these scriptures in there just to keep us, in the spirit
And grounded. Yep,
there
I
you
like
go.
that.
Oh, Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 22. Go ahead.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 42 and verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
Talking about us, the Israelites. Go ahead.
They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses.
They are hid in prison houses. The Lord already knew, right? So we in them prison houses, whether, again, due to our situations, brothers got involved in all type of madness or being incarcerated unjustly, right? They're in there, right? Go ahead.
They are for a prey.
They are for a prey,
And-
right? Hold on. We want to stay with that prey, because what these prison systems are doing, they predators.
Right.
And they going out, they getting our people, throwing them in that hole, snaring them in there, got them working for free, and now they kids is going to college. They all over the place, living deliciously off the back of our people. Go ahead.
And none delivereth.
And nobody ain't going to deliver out of that. Go ahead.
For a spoil. And none saith restore.
And nobody's saying restore these people, right? None saying restore these people. Now this verse is going into some other things as well, right? But the fact that actually has to be voted for, you see what I'm saying? To go from to a bill to, I forgot how you put it. I know there's steps, right? And then from a bill to a law. I remember that old school thing. Some of y'all too young to remember. Yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm living in Capitol Hill. Y'all, hey, listen, don't act like I'm old. Yo, they acting like, come on, ain't nobody saying nothing. I don't remember the song. You remember that damn song just like me, right? But we know it's steps and all of that. But at the end of the day, bruh, they got our people destroyed. You know what I'm saying? And what we're saying is that again, I'm glad that we actually speaking here in front of everybody. We spoke last week, and I said I appreciate everybody who's a freedom fighter, right? Because that's really what it is at the end of the day.
Hell yeah.
Right? You got different forms of fighting for freedom. Ours, we bring it about our we're restoring our nationality and heritage and everything to our people. This is why we do what we do. In Lord's will, people repent and get back to the Lord, right? But when we hear about these things, it's just more and more of the enemy got us running around in a circle, promises, treaties that they breaking, and it never happens. So that's why I'm saying to you guys, and y'all putting in some hard work, how do you think this is going to all go down when they eventually not only have to pay the so-called blacks, but they're going to have to pay the Native Americans? They're going to have to. After they pay all that money out, bruh, where's the white man going to be? What do you got left?
I'll let him speak for him. I know where we going to be. We're going to be doing all right.
For sure.
I can't speak for them, what they going to do. And first of all, let me also say that I appreciate the dialogue, and I appreciate the critical analysis and the critical thinking, because I just want to continue to keep it real with y'all. Yeah. We think about these same questions every single. We have to plan and win political battles, right, on a daily basis, right. So we have to think about what our opposition strengths are, and what our opposition weaknesses are, and where our advantages are, and what our tactical moves are, and what our strategic moves are, and what our objectives are, and how we accomplish them, and what kind of resources do we need to bring our victories to bear, and what are our chances of success. Keep in mind, we lost the first time we tried this in 2021. Right. We actually had a bill to take the involuntary servitude exception from the state constitution away, and guess what they told us? You just said it. It's going to cost too much money. We so dependent on this free labor that we got in the prisons, making everything from stuff in McDonald's to stuff in Starbucks to stuff that the senators and to the chairs and the desks that the senators are sitting on, and the furniture in the governor's office, to all of the glasses that you get from Medi-Cal when you put your prescriptions in, all kind of. There's hundreds of thousands of products that's made with free and forced labor in prisons. When we lost the first time, the first battle in 2021, that's partly why we lost, because our opponents were successful in convincing the people who had the power to make the decisions that this was going to cost too much money. So, but this is a war. And so in war, you win battles and you lose battles, but you don't give up. And we say it ain't over until we win. That's our standing marching motto. Right. So we regrouped, we reorganized, we re-upped, and we came back this time. And we won our first battle, which was the battle to win in the assembly. And these are the ways that you change the Constitution. So in order to change the Constitution, there's generally two ways. Either you take your idea directly to the voters, directly to them, and there's rules about how you qualify to do that, or you take it to your state Senate, your state assembly, and pass bills to then take it to the voters. We chose that second route this time. And yes, we lost in 2021, but guess what? We won last week. That's 3-4 years damn near of work. We have one more battle to win, though. Well, one more battle this year to win. And I'll say why I phrase it like that. We have one more battle to win this year, and that's the battle of the ballot in November. We have to convince and persuade a majority of California voters to agree with us to remove the involuntary servitude modern day slavery exception from the California Constitution. There will be opposition. There already is. There is already opposition to this, and it's a fight. But we beat the opposition in the assembly. We beat the opposition in the Senate, and we're going to beat them at the ballot. Nobody's allowing us to do anything. They're fighting and they're losing. And this is something that I want folks to understand too. In the political world, in the government world, nothing is fixed. There's fighting going on to move our state and move our government in this direction or that direction, or to this group's interest or to that group's interest every single day. And I'm telling you, every single day, because I'm inside that building, which is 10 minutes from here, which is where I am right now, the Capitol building in California. 10 minutes from where I am, I'm in that building every day, every other day. I see them in there every single day. They're fighting about let's fight to get this money. Let's fight to make the government do this. Let's fight to make the government do that. It's always a fight going on. It's just, do you have the power to win the fight? Now, last thing I'm gonna say real quick is, when we win at the ballot in November, as y'all know, I think we all know this as people, especially our people, that just winning a change in the law don't mean nothing if it don't really change nothing in our real lives. And also, we also know that you can win and then you can have what you won taken away too. Okay? And so what we're going to have to do after we win in November is then fight to protect what we've won forever. And that's part of what we're planning for now. But make no mistake, and folks and family here should be proud, and I know you are. Your people are organizing, and they're winning, and we're gonna keep doing that.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
Whew, that was a lot. Hey, so yeah, we fight a different battle, man. We fight the battle of nationality, because you could give black people $100 million, and then the neighborhood still gonna look like cocaine and gun smoke. You know, so what we looking to do is for us to get our nationality back and win who we are, because we ain't gonna be able to really do anything if we don't value one another. The first thing they stole from you outside of they stole the number one wealth from us, and that's our identity, our nationality, who we are, our culture. You give these young men right now $100,000, it's gonna be World War III in the hood. Right. Give me Psalms 83 and verse 1.
Right.
I gotta get this, because this is the first thing that they stole from us. They know, Chris, if they keep this away from us, then all we gonna do is fall right back into their trap. Read what you got.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1.
Let him read it, you.
Psalms chapter 83 and verse 1.
Come on.
Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still.
The Most High to not hold his peace against these people. Why? Because of what they did to us. Watch what they looking to do to us. Come on.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
What?
Thine enemies.
So the same people that's our enemies is God's enemies. Why? Because we God's people. Go ahead.
Thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
A tumult is an angry gathering. The scriptures say they make an angry gathering against us. They have conferences about us and how to keep their foot on us. Come on.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Crafty counsel against our people is passing bills that they know that's gonna keep us in sin, like legalizing weed. That stuff is to keep our people deaf, dumb, and blind to the fact of who we are. That's crafty counsel. That's a trap that they set, because if you get caught with too much of this stuff, did that stop the Fed? Do that stop the feds from getting on you? No. Even though the states say it's legal. So it's crafty counsel. Go ahead.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
Say they consult against us, the hidden ones. Why is the Bible calling us the hidden ones right here? Because they would take and steal our nationality from us. Go ahead.
They have said, come.
Yeah, like what we read earlier, hidden in the prison houses. Go ahead.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
You see what they did to us? Through all of the crafty counsel was setting the sin up for us. They cut us off from being a nation. And when you could take a man's nationality, you could take a man's culture, you could take a man's language, you could take a man's land. What does he have left, Chris? Nothing, right?
Not a damn thing.
You don't have a damn thing. But guess what? That's the definition of black. Nothing. That's why they call you black, because they took everything away from you. Right. We got to get our nationality back first, and then everything will work. Go ahead.
And Chris, the reason, and that's an excellent point, because if we're not moving like a unit, right? then how is the money going to help us? And I'm not saying, oh, we should not get money. I'm just saying, how does it help? Right? Dave Chappelle made a joke. We're going to go buy rims and chicken or whatever, right?
right.
Chappelle's a wild boy. But right? But it's a joke, but it's real at the same time, right? Because we're not used to working together because we don't recognize what's going on, right? For instance, just give me Micah 2 real quick, 1 and 2. And what this does, what we trying to bring into place is showing you how the Lord said how these people are working against us, even within the laws, right? God talks about these laws, right? And how crafty it is. We read it before with crafty counsel, right? Just stay with us, Chris. Just stay with us, man. We here. All right. I don't want you to forget what you're about to say. Keep your
I'm with you. No,
all
I'm
right.
with you.
Go ahead. Verse 1.
Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity.
It says destruction to them that devise sin, right? It's talking about a particular people. Go ahead.
And work evil upon their beds.
Come on.
When the morning is light, they practice it.
Right, because they waking up every day thinking about new ways. How are we going to keep these people in that sin? You going to see? Read on.
Because it is in their power of their hand.
It's in their power, right? Because they run the government. They run everything. They control laws and bills and all of that. Even from behind the scenes, it's in their power. Read verse 2.
And they covet fields.
It says they covet fields. When they came to the States, everywhere they went, they looked, I like that land. It's not mine, but I want it. Read.
And take them by violence.
They take those fields by violence. They destroyed our people, the Native American Indians, which are our people, right? They destroyed it by violence. They took us. Go ahead.
And houses.
And houses. They took our houses because beyond popular opinion, right? Against popular opinion, when they came here, there was houses, reservoirs, sewer systems. I don't know if you know that, but this place was already set up. They took the houses. They took the people by violence, and our people as well. Go ahead.
And take them away.
Uh-huh.
So they oppress a man and his house.
They oppress a man and his house, right? Come on.
Even a man and his heritage.
Even a man and his heritage. That's why we don't know who we are. We're African American. We're black. We're Afro American. We're this. We're that. But it's all just wick, wick, whack, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy, Chris. So this is what we're saying, that without our people having our nationality back, once we get this money, we won't be able to move like a unit. We're gonna be right back, because guess what, Chris? And I know you guys have thought about this inside and out. But what is hard about paying me $5 million and then me as the realtor saying, hey, all these black people got $5 million. I'm gonna raise my houses up to $3 million. What's stopping them from doing that? Right? That will be automatic inflation, and nobody will be able to do nothing about it. They would not stop that.
There are laws against that. That sounds like price gouging. There are laws against that. But
of course, it's price gouging. Chris, remember this. I'm gonna bring something to your remembrance. Now, I don't know the last time you've been in New York. You probably travel back and forth a bit. There's a place called Restaurant Row, right? Mm-hmm. It's in the 40s.
Oh yeah. Yep.
You don't see the prices of the meals too much higher than the one next door, because they got the price fix. They want you to
because they're colluding, yeah.
But that's what's going on. Yeah. All right. And God talks about too. I'm gonna bring one more, and it's on you, Chris. All right. Give me Wisdom of Solomon real quick, chapter 2. All right, in verse 11. Let me read this to you. This is important because within the government, they got us locked in, Chris. Right? But check this out.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1.
Starting verse 10.
Verse 10. Let us oppress the poor righteous man.
It said, let us oppress the poor righteous man, right? This is talking about the Israelites right here. Go ahead.
Let us not spare the widow.
Go ahead.
Nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age.
Right. They ain't going to spare nobody. Old, young, everybody going to get it. Go ahead. Verse 11.
Let our strength be the law of justice.
It said, let our strength be the law of justice. Why? Because they can insert anything to be a law, right? They don't have to, there's no real voting when they want to make something a law. They can just insert something. That's just the way it is, right? So that's the strength, right? For instance, let's say everything passed, okay, everybody get reparations. The next year now they can put something on there saying, hey, reparations is illegal. We're not doing that. Now we're starting a new fight. Now reparations is on pause. And now another fight happens.
Can they do that, though?
Yeah, they can do that, Chris.
There's no
way
100%
do that.
To do that without, you would need a law to change a previous law. So you would need to reverse a prior law. You need a new law that reverse. Now, you still have to go through the lawmaking process.
Right.
To do that, though.
Right. But the point is they can do it. And they can push things in the middle of the night that we don't know nothing about.
That's partly why I'm saying, and I want to pick up on it.
Go ahead.
I think you're in the right place. That's partly why I was saying that we know that once we pass laws, it ain't over. We actually have to then stand up our defenses to protect what we won, because there's a lot of things that we won in law and then was reversed by new laws the next year, the next 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now. We're actually, to be honest, there's been an attempt to roll back, and by roll back I mean reverse a lot of the legal and political gains of the last 100 or plus years over the last, let's say, 50 or 60 years. And that work has been successful, actually, partly because we have not been, I think, ourselves successful politically and legally at protecting what we win and actually growing what we win too. But let me say a couple things. I have a question for y'all too.
Okay.
Because I love this. I love this particular point. So first, we also believe that. Let me speak for myself here. I also believe that there's a spiritual battle going on also.
Oh, 100%.
Okay. I think that's clear to me. That it's also a spiritual battle going on at the same time that we are fighting this non-spiritual battle, let's say. And let me say me, I literally believe that my ancestors are here with us now. Literally. So that's my own personal belief. So that's the first thing I want to say, and I want to appreciate y'all for raising the spiritual piece of this, because I think we can't win without this. Right. I'm just gonna keep it real. I think we cannot win without this component to our work. Secondly, I want to get back to the identity and nationality question. You may phrase it as nationality. I phrase it more as identity, because you are absolutely right. We were the victims of what people and scholars of genocide call, I think, ethnocide, or a form of ethnocide, which is a kind of genocide, even though we were subject to attempted physical genocide too, obviously. But we were also the subject of what scholars of genocide call the precursor of genocide, called ethnocide, which is when you destroy a group's identity. You rip them of their culture, you rip them of their heritage, you rip them of their names, you rip them of their land, right? You destroy them that way, or you attempt to destroy them that way. Right. We are clearly the victims of an attempted ethnocide, obviously, right?
It's more than an attempt. It's been done.
It's been done.
Right, actually, a successful. That's you're right. A successful ethnocide. So that's absolutely right. That's partly why we've actually stayed away from the racial classifications when it comes to reparations, and we've taken a lot of heat for that. So we've actually tried to stay away from the black.
But what do you mean, the racial? Yeah. So how do you? So how do you do it? Meaning that what? You don't call yourself a certain something? You don't have a... what do you mean by that?
So so like personally, I respect everybody's right to call themselves whatever they want to call themselves personally, right? So some people want to call themselves Black, African American, or not that. I respect. I don't personally tell people what they should call themselves. I may make a case for why I call myself a certain way, and then some people might like it. But I'm speaking specifically, legally and politically in the reparations space, specifically. We've stayed away from the use of racial qualifications in the eligibility for reparations.
Okay.
Partly because one, there's some legal challenges or some legal complications for using the racial classifications in any kind of government spending program.
So let me just, I want to make sure everybody understands. I want to understand as well. When you say racial classification, saying, let's say African American or black, or non-Hispanic, that kind of thing. Is that what you're saying? All right.
Yes. We've made a very, I think, wise attempt and ultimately successful attempt, I think, to stay away from those kinds of racial classifications. Partly because, again, there are some legal and constitutional and political complications that come with that, and I can definitely talk more about that. But it's really more about this thing that we on now, which is our identity. The words Black and African American are not things that we created for ourselves, obviously, right? Those aren't terms that we created to use for ourselves. Those are terms and things that are put on us.
Right.
So what we've said in the reparation space is that, specifically as it relates to eligibility, that the main thing that's going to matter for you to be eligible for reparations is what your ancestors did. Did your ancestors build this country? Are your ancestors the ones who were kidnapped, sold, in some cases kidnapped, sold, and then shipped to this country, and then human trafficked, sex trafficked, and then tortured, and then worked for free for 200 plus years, et cetera, et cetera? Do you come from these people? Do you come from it? Do you come from this group of people? If you come from this group of people, this is the group that is eligible for reparations. Now, that's that, and we also make the case that we are a specific people. We have our own identity. We are an identity that is separate, and the people that is separate from this color of our skin, or how people call us based on this color of our skin. We are more defined by what we've contributed to building of this country. And this is very important. As a matter of fact, we actually wrote legislation in 2021 and 2022 that the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, actually signed. It's in one of the budget bills. It's Senate Bill 189, specifically Section 14. If you look at SB 189, Section 14 from 2022, this language that we actually wrote at the coalition that the governor signed into law makes California one of the first state, or actually the first state, to what we call disaggregate that Black or African American category. Let me give you a concrete example of what that means. So let's say you're going to get, let's say you want a job at a state agency. Let's say you want to work for the California Department of so-and-so, whatever. When you go to apply for the job, you know how they usually make you check the black box or the African American box or the white box.
Right.
They ask you, show me your ethnicity, show me who you are, right? Tell me what your race is. All right. We said, well, we need a space and a place on those kind of forms that say you can check a box and say, I am a descendant of someone whose ancestors built this country. That's my identity. That's
Okay.
that's part of my identity.
All right. So now let me say this to you.
Yep.
And put a pin there. I don't want you to forget what you're going to say
Yep,
next. What's going to stop some white people now from saying, you know what? My great, so on and so forth is Black. I just found it out. I'm going to need some of that money. Chris, I'm coming with you on the love train.
Well, saying they Black ain't going to get it.
Chris,
right.
listen. How
right.
you understand what I'm saying now?
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna come out of the woodwork, bruh. I'm telling, it's gonna be something that. And listen, I know that might be like, okay, it's a little bit reaching, right? But is it really?
No.
Because the ones who not admitting it now that they got some Black ancestors, right? They're gonna come forth, and then some other ones is gonna come forth and say, guess what? Hey, but I own that particular slave, and I believe that this is what happened. All I'm telling you is going to be something mucking up the works.
Yeah, they crafty.
Because
Of
they
course.
crafty as hell.
Of course,
Demonic.
of course. That is to be expected. Absolutely. But I want you to understand that is part of the war. Like, that is part of the battles. Yeah, yes, there's going to be people who try to take our stuff and claim it and fraud our. That's to be expected. That's not. So we build for that.
Right.
We plan our battles for that. We plan our battles to win against things like that. Yes, there's going to be people who try to fraud our stuff. There's going to be people who are going to say, listen, and obviously saying you have a Black ancestor wouldn't get you in anyway, because having a Black ancestor is not going to be enough.
Why not?
Did your ancestor, was your ancestor enslaved and emancipated in the United States? That's different. Now, there are people who do not currently self-identify as, let's say, Black or African American now, who do have ancestors who were enslaved in this country. That is absolutely true. We actually talked to.
You got Johnny Depp.
Johnny,
you know,
I don't
Johnny
know about
Depp?
that particular case specifically, but
Yeah, Johnny Depp has a great grandmother who was Black, so-called African American, and his great grandfather was a white man, and they had a baby, and so on and so forth. And now we got Johnny Depp. Now we got Edward Scissorhands running around.
Man.
Right on. Now,
He-
if that
He gonna come with all his
With a
bread,
check.
talking about, yo, Chris. Hey, Chris, how you doing? This is Johnny. What's good? Where's my
if
check?
his ancestor was enslaved in this country,
Yes, she was enslaved.
if she was, then he is owed
Johnny
for
Depp
his
gotta
ancestors'
get paid.
work.
Oh, they gonna use that.
Oh, you
yo,
yeah.
I'm telling you, Chris, they coming.
They
Now-
coming for that,
Yeah.
man.
We're well aware of this.
Yeah,
And-
Johnny
and that's
Johnny
partly why we've
Deppites, they coming.
Now we're well aware of this. That's partly why we took and did our due diligence to
Hey,
work.
Chris, I'm sorry. Somebody just said a joke over here. They said Johnny gonna be coming for his reparations.
Yo, yo.
Yo, I'm gonna use that, yo.
Yo, that's crazy.
I'm gonna use that, B. I'm gonna use that. I'm sorry, I'm using that. I don't know
Yeah.
who said that. but
Yeah, that's
I'm
my
using
man
that.
right here,
All
Officer
right?
Judah.
You know
He's
what I'm saying?
crazy.
I'm gonna use that. All right. And we were, you know, I don't know if you remember the woman Rachel Dolezal, who was
Oh
like
yes. Those
pretending to be
yeah,
black
yeah.
and all that,
Yeah.
right? And we were, you know, that gets us into another reason why you really can't have this, you know, just say you black and you get it kind of eligibility, because anybody can say they black, to be honest with you. Anybody. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. A black is a self-identifying thing, meaning whenever you've been asked to say you black on a official document, you've had to self-identify as it normally. Now, in some cases, you know, some people will identify you for you if we're talking about like census takers and all that stuff. But that gets us to another place. What I want to do is stay here. So, yes, there are people who do not self-identify as Black or African American. Now, I've met several of these people. I met some people who say, "Listen, my mother was black, my father was white. I'm biracial. I don't identify as either." But one of my ancestors was enslaved in this country. One of my direct ancestors was enslaved. Am I eligible for reparations? The answer to that question, technically, right now, is yes, absolutely. And partly why we've been working on, or partly how we've been working on this, is we've been doing our due diligence to talk to as many genealogists as possible. We actually asked a bunch of genealogists who've been working with us on this. What is the, you know, of all the people that you see that you help trace their ancestry and all that, what's the percentage of people who, let's say, claim white, right, or claim something other than black,
Right.
but who have a ancestor who was enslaved in this country? And they said, Chris, you know, we can't give you no exact numbers, but we call those people the 1%ers, meaning it's like 1% of the people we ever even come across. And those people are, you know, themselves this descendants. And let's not forget how they became descendants too. In most cases, it's because a white man raped one of their enslaved ancestors. That's most of the time how they became the kind of complexion that they are, right? So let's keep it real there too. But yes,
not
it
necessarily.
is absolutely true.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Not
Because
not in every case,
Right.
but largely, and especially since in our country, you know, black folks and white folks were not legally allowed to marry until the 1960s or 1970s.
Yeah,
Right?
60s.
I mean, that's legally not allowed. That's not to say nothing of the 1800s and the 1700s and the 1600s and the 1500s and all that stuff. But the overall point that I want to make is, I'm agreeing with the nationality identity piece here, because it is very important for us, and we've been very, very intentional in the reparations movement, in this generation of reparations movement, to focus more on our identity that's not connected to something called black, not connected to something called African American, even though we know that those things have been used against us too. We can't deny that the thing called black or thing called African American has been used against us too. We don't deny that. But we've been very intentional about making this really based on your descendancy from people whose ancestors built this country, regardless of what y'all call yourselves. And that's y'all, I mean me too. Now let me ask y'all a question, because I want to ask y'all a question too. I want to get to the other point about what people are going to do with their money. Okay. First of all, we make the case that, you know, if somebody owe you money, you could do whatever the hell you want with the money that they owe you.
Okay.
If I owe you money right now, and then you come, and then I come to you and say, listen, I'll pay you back if you tell me what you're going to do with it first. Right? Nobody is going to be with none of that. All right. So it's our money. We can do whatever the hell we want with it. And having said that, I want to ask y'all individually. Tomorrow we get reparations. Okay, what would you do with it?
Yeah. Let me get Zephaniah too. Right. Yes. I'm gonna tell you, because what has to happen, Chris, is that we have to come together. Well, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Right.
You personally.
I'm gonna tell you personally. I'm gonna tell you personally, because personally means the whole nation, the whole family, right? And that's what personal is to us. We put the people above ourselves, right? So, but and I'm not saying you're not.
What you gonna do for your family?
And I'm gonna tell you in a second.
When the
Yes,
check
I got you.
Tomorrow.
I got you. I'm not running from the question, Chris. Trust me. Go ahead. Watch this. Go ahead.
Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
Right. Gather together, O nation not desired. So what we're going to do, we're going to gather our people together, right? And what we're going to do, if we had it tomorrow, bruh, we building Negro land.
Right. For sure.
We going to build the new
Speaking
Negro
that
land, if
country.
that's what it is.
Wait, hold on. But
Check it out, Chris. Check this out.
What you gonna do with it personally?
No, I said we going to build Negro land.
But hold on, I want to know what you are gonna do.
Yes,
with it
Negro land is happening.
So you're not gonna pay no
It's happening.
bill.
Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna say this to you. This is what I'm saying to you, right? Because we can't be by ourselves. We have to have our people around us in order for us to make it happen. That's why the Lord said, "Gather yourselves together." We have to be together as one, right? The 12 tribes got to come back together, right? But now let me say this to you: in the early 1900s into 1921, we had Black Wall Street, right? Now, this is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know about this, right? Our people were flourishing there, right? You mean to tell me 100 and change years later, we don't have a semblance of that? You know what we got? We got a bunch of independently wealthy brothers and sisters, right, who have made money either as executives of companies, athletes, entertainers, real estate. And we do a lot, and our people are very talented, very intelligent. We do a lot of different works. We usually always look at the athletes and the entertainers, but our people have gotten rich doing many, many things, right? Where is the Black Wall Street today? You know where it's at? They don't want us to have that, Chris. Every time we had a Black Wall Street, it wasn't just in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? We had
There was 100 or so of those.
there you go. All of them got blown to smithereens, Chris, because when we work together, things happen, right? We're very strong, right? So that's why we have to come back as the Israelites. So you asking me what I'm going to do with my money? I'm going to take my money. I'm going to take my money.
I want to hear my other brothers here, so I want to know what you personally.
I'm telling you.
Tomorrow you got a check for $1 million in the mail.
$1 million.
What's the first things that you're doing tomorrow?
Well, first I'll go to the Beamer dealer. Then when I leave from the Beamer dealer, I'm going to drive to this man's house.
And you going to look at my Beamer?
Yeah. We're going to have two Beamers looking at each other and say, listen, let's get this money together and go build a school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Thank you. Right.
We're going to start buying land. We're going to start doing if that was possible, right?
Okay.
That's where our minds would be at, right?
Good.
Okay, that's all. And I'm not saying that a person shouldn't take care of themselves, because in the scriptures it tells you, enjoy the fruit of your labor, right?
Right, of course.
It spoils all you do, whatever. Enjoy yourself, you know what I'm saying? But we have to always consider and think as a people. It's very important that we set up something to where our people will know even to keep the laws of God. You know what I'm saying? On the Sabbath, shut stuff down, no selling, no buying, so on and so forth. Go ahead.
I agree with what you're saying, and that's. But I wanted to pose the question to you, and I also want to hear what the other brothers have to say too.
Sure.
What they personally would do. So can I ask the brothers?
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
Please.
So what you gonna do tomorrow?
What I'm doing tomorrow, I ain't gonna even lie to you. Give me Jeremiah chapter 29 and verse 5. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. You hear me?
Okay.
I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do.
I know people got kids and families and all that.
Absolutely.
Watch
gotta
this.
check them all.
Read that, man. Read it.
Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 5.
Come on.
Build ye houses and dwell in them. And plant gardens.
And do what?
And plant gardens.
Come on.
And eat the fruit of them.
Read.
Take ye wives.
And
beget sons and daughters.
Read.
And take wives for your sons. And give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that ye may be increased.
That we may increase
there and not diminished.
So what we doing and what I'm gonna do day one, I'm putting my money into my people, my nation, building my people back from the ground up. Because what we see on TV is not it, and that's what most people gonna put their money towards. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it back into my community and make my community great again. Jump over to verse 28. Let's see what we gonna do with that.
Verse 28.
Come on.
For therefore he sent unto us in Babylon, saying,
unto us where?
In Babylon.
Right here in the United States of America. Come on.
Right.
Saying, this captivity is long.
Chris, ain't we been here a long time? We're going to be here for another long time.
Right.
The Lord say this captivity going to be long, bro. Come on.
Right.
Build ye houses.
Therefore, come together, build houses. Come on.
And dwell in them.
And dwell in them. Don't just dwell in them as an individual, because we ain't going to get nowhere as individuals. We only, like Cap was bringing out earlier,
and agriculture.
The strongest we've ever been is when we was together. That's why they ended segregation.
Right.
They're like, these niggas getting too powerful.
Right.
That's right. We got to put the white woman in there. Get Becky in there ASAP.
Right.
Think about it, bro. No, that's 100%, bro. Think about it. Think about it, Chris.
Real estate,
just think about
agriculture, and you building your family. I love that.
Right. But think about it. Even when you look back into the Negro leagues, right? We had our own league. Everything was great.
Yes.
But guess what? They said, wait a minute, these boys is nice. If you know anything about the history of baseball, right? I was always a big baseball guy, right? The Negro leagues used to play against the major leagues every year in an all-star game, right? They played a long time. The major leagues the Negro leagues beat them 60-something% of the time, right? So won 2 out of 3 games, right? For like 50 years. So they said to themselves, wait a minute, these niggas over here is nice.
Right.
They got the game changed up. So you know what they did? Wait a minute. To come to the major leagues, this is the thing to be.
Right.
So now they were taking one player here, one player there. Before you know it, the Negro leagues got broken down, and now you had all of the top talent in the major leagues with the white owners. The black owners were gone, and they had nothing, no power. And that's how our life has been. When we segregated, we're stronger. The Lord said to separate yourself.
You absolutely right, and I mean it gets. I mean, there's more you could say about that too, because obviously what we call the Negro League was also a business that was also supporting all kind of other small black businesses.
There you go.
With jobs and all that.
Right.
But I'm asking this question about what you're gonna do on purpose.
Okay.
I love everything that you said. What I want us to do is, because when we do community meetings, and we do community meetings about reparations pretty regularly. We actually did. We did 2 over the weekend, actually 1 on Friday and 1 on Saturday. We asked people the same question: what are you going to do with it? What would you do with it? And we hear almost the same thing that we just heard from you good brothers right there. I'm going to invest in real estate. I want to build, and I want to buy houses, and I want to build land for my people, and I want to build my family. I want to do things that better my people. Almost to a person. Nobody has said, I'm just going to blow it, man, and I'm just going to throw it away, and I'm just going to, right? Nobody said that. What I want us to do is give the same grace, the same good, positive thinking that we have about what we're going to do with it to our people too. Because even though we don't have a lot in many cases, most of us don't have a lot. Let's just keep it real. Most of us don't have a lot of material, physical, financial wealth. We have wealth in other ways. But most of us don't have that kind of financial, physical wealth. But we obviously do a lot with the little that we have. But I want y'all to have the same kind of grace, same kind of good thinking about what your people with very little will do and want to do and would do with what they're owed. Because I've never heard anybody say, I'm just going to throw away, I'm going to blow it, I don't want to do it, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody says, I'm going to do this great thing, do that great thing, but it's those other people who's going to mess it up. It's those other people who don't know what to do with it.
Well, let me say this to you, Chris. That's true. But we saw during COVID 2020, when them PPP loans was flying,
Bring it out.
brothers was getting 80, 100,000.
Right.
Bruh, I was in Brooklyn. Everybody had a Benz. I said, what the hell going on here?
Here in California,
Yeah.
there's all kind of
Everybody had a Benz, Chris.
Hey,
is still looking for people right now.
That's what. But this is just the microcosm
Right. The
of what would happen.
Reality.
Right? They got a little touch. First thing they did. That's why I made the joke. I'm going to the Beamer dealer. Right. Because I probably would go to the Beamer dealer. Right. Because I like Beamers.
Keep it real.
Right.
It's
But
okay if you want to
it's
go
fine.
to the Beamer dealer,
But you got to have something for your
if you
people.
go to the black-owned car dealer, personally.
No. But listen. Listen what I'm saying. They got a little bit of bread, and they all went out and bought cars and clothes. I'm telling you, not one of them, maybe one, out of 100,000 took that money and probably bought a piece of property. Right. Maybe one.
I'm gonna tell you straight. But the brothers up here in California, right? These dudes, like, it's a lot of people. They was touching hundreds and thousands of dollars, bruh. And all they have to show for it now is a chain. And you still on mama's couch.
We got stuff now.
It's and this is just a small scale. You give our people money that don't
not including you though. Not including y'all though.
Maybe us too. Because how many millionaires that hit the lotto still rich?
We doing all this. We gonna do all these great things,
right?
But it's those other of our people.
No. See, but we're not trying. We're not separating ourselves from the people.
No,
that's not what we do.
Right.
But our job is to change the mindset of the mindset of the people, so they can do right with it. So we are thinking about each other. Right. So we are moving in that right direction. We understand, Chris. We know and understand that neither one of us can rise above the state of our people. You know what I'm saying? Right. So if you doing bad, then I'm doing bad. That's how we look at it.
Right.
So what we do is we try to put that motivation back into the people. Right. We try to put that our culture back into the people. We try to put the godly mindset back into them, because without this, we're not gonna go nowhere. I'm saying we as a people, we're not gonna go nowhere.
Right. So
I don't disagree with that, and I want to say that. And also, by the way, I do have to do a quick time check. I do got to get out of here in about 10 minutes or so.
Yes, sir.
But I want to stay on this because I actually want to, because this is really important for us, because and I know y'all believe in your people. You believe in our people. Sure. I believe in our people. I believe we are capable of great things, and I know we got great in us. And I also know that we got things that we got to improve. So I think that this is also what we're saying at the same time here. But you mentioned the PPP loans and all that. So I didn't mention this, but I also in 2016 I started something called SAC Black Biz. Right now it is Sacramento County's largest database and directory of Black-owned businesses. We serve something like. We serve thousands of Black-owned businesses every single day. We run the largest directory of Black-owned businesses in the county. There's tens of thousands of dollars that move between Black folks, what folks who call themselves Black, rather, and in their businesses on a yearly basis. And there's money moving between these people's hands and into families every single day. I see it every single day. There's people with food in their fridge right now who are feeding their families based on part of how we've helped to facilitate and allow for more business to happen for them. In 2020 and 2021, when the quarantine thing happened and the state said you had to shut down your business, and the government said, and then we got the PPP loans and the EIDL loans from the SBA, and all that. A couple of my colleagues and I, we started. And by the way, the platform and the directory that we run is completely free, completely free. Okay? But when the quarantine all that happened, our businesses specifically were like losing their minds, because it was like the barbershop said, listen, the governor said we got to close down our barbershops. The salon said we got to close down our salons. The folks who do the vending at the events. There wasn't no events happening, and etc. So how are we gonna make money? Well, the government is giving out these PPP loans. The government is giving out these EIDL loans. The state is giving out these kind of money and grants and all that. So what we started doing, a couple of colleagues of ours, was holding weekly meetings, weekly workshops for free for business owners to come and get prepared and then apply for that money. We had a 99% success rate. Literally almost everybody who worked with us for free got money from the state, from the feds, from some of that PPP money, some of that EIDL money. 99% of those people were people who call themselves black, who have so-called black-owned businesses. So I'm saying that to say that we are already doing a lot of what you all want us to do and what we all want us to do, which is working together. Now, needs to be a lot more of it. I'm confident, though, that once we receive our reparations, we'll see all of the work that we're doing now increase 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 fold. And going back to this original point, this is the last thing I'll say on this. I just want us to have the same kind of belief in our people of what we are capable of doing and what we will do, based on what we're doing now and based on what each and every single one of you brothers said you would do and will do. And I know you will do this with what is owed to you. I know we're going to be building houses and building Negro land and building our own schools and building our own communities and running our own protection. And I know we're going to do that because of everything that we're doing now and everything that we say that we want to do too. And it's also important to point out that there's areas that we got to improve on, that we're not doing this enough. There's damn sure nowhere near enough the kind of working together that we want and or need. Absolutely right. That's absolutely true. But both of those things I think can be true at the same time.
Yeah, and you're right. But at the end of the day, when you look at history and you look how our people is set up, right? Every time we had something good, we had it good for a limited amount of time. And why was that? Why did it always come to an end? Because we never stood on one square. Somebody always had a different mindset. Somebody always want to do their own thing. Somebody always envying the next person. You got to remember, this is why we go back to Zephaniah 2:1. This is why we teaching all of us to come together, not just come together and bring our money together as blacks and African Americans, but standing on that one square that we the Israelites. Because when we can stand on that one square, then that's where value really comes from. Matter of fact, don't get that. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. This is what this value right here. If we looked at each other and we stood on this one square alone, then coming together will last forever. But it only be a limited time because he got a different mindset than him, or she got a different mindset than her. You got people that live the lifestyle that you don't live, or that you don't condone at all. So how long is this unity gonna last without our worth? Give me our worth. Give me that.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6.
Come on.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
So we supposed to be separate. We're not supposed to conduct ourselves as everybody else in the world. Because this is our major downfall, envying the oppressor and living how he wants us to live. Go ahead.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee.
The Lord thy God hath chosen us. Look, that's value. When you are chosen, it's billions of other people on the planet. It's 18 different other nations. The Most High God said he only chose one, and that's us. And if we stood on that, then it'd be easier to maintain wealth in our communities. It'd be easier for us to come together and be on one mindset, because that's what it's all about. It's all about being on one mindset. We could all put our coins together and then it'll all fall apart because we don't have one mindset. Right. Hold that. Go to Philippians 2:2. Get that.
Philippians chapter 2 and verse 2.
Come on.
Fulfill ye my joy.
This is the Lord's joy. This is what we trying to fulfill. Come on.
That ye be like-minded, having the same love.
You see that? We got to have the same love. We got to be like-minded, all thinking the same way, having the same love. Come on.
Being of one accord.
We all have to be on one accord, because if you're not on one accord, it's all going to come crumbling down. Mm-hmm. When we make it up and we hit our peak, it's going to all come crumbling down because he didn't want to move like him, because he didn't feel like it. So our goal is to move our people through this captivity that we live in, but on one mind. Because if we not on one mind, then it's all going to collapse. Go back to Deuteronomy. Let me finish it out, and I'm going to pass it back to Cap.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6.
Come on.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Read.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself,
Uh-huh.
above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
And this is our worth. Now, if we all looked at each other as we was above all people on the face of the planet, then black on black crime will dissolve. It won't be there no more. We'll be able to walk up, we'll all be able to have these so-called reparations that we talking of and don't have to worry about getting robbed.
Yo.
Bruh, I'm telling you. But if you're not fulfilling the Lord's joy and thinking on one mind, one body, one spirit, moving in the same direction and standing on the same square, then it's all gonna fall. And that's all we saying. Go ahead, Cap.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we know you got to go. All praises. And bruh,
My man Chris.
yes, we give
sir.
a hand for the brother, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you came on in, bruh.
Hey, he fighting.
Fun.
Yeah.
He
Yo,
fighting.
Let me say one thing real quick before we go. Real quick. I want to pick up what brother said right there. Then I want to turn it back to you. To help wrap us up. But first of all, I want to say, please keep teaching what you're teaching. Okay.
Oh, yeah. We never
Please
stopping
keep
until death.
teaching what you're teaching. There's no harm. As a matter of fact, there's all the help and benefit of our people hearing how much more we got to be together, how much more we got to be on one accord. So, and we're gonna need this to be successful with our reparations.
Right.
You're absolutely right. The more together we are, the better and more successful we are going to be. But let me just put one last thought to you, because I just want to tell you something that somebody told me. It said, Chris, unity does not mean uniformity. Okay? Unity and uniformity are not the same things. Okay? We can be united, and I want to just put it as a question, right, or put it as a thought, just to think about. We can be united and strong, even if we all aren't uniform on every single piece and thing. Of course, we're not. Obviously, you're going to dress this way. I'm going to dress that way. We're going to do this right. So, I don't expect everybody to be thinking all the same things at all the time. We're individual people, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to put this to you also, that we can be united and still maybe not be uniform on every single thing. And I just want to put that to you, because, of course, I love you all as brothers before I met you, okay? Before I met you. And that's not going to change no matter what, all right? This fight, we're fighting for all of us here, right? This is for all of us, even if you technically don't qualify for reparations, right now. All right, this fight is for you too. But with that, I do want to just give it back to you here, Cap, and to say, first, thank you for having me. And of course, any last words, I'm happy to receive them.
Oh, yeah. All praises, man. All praises to the Most High Christ, man. We glad to have you, Chris, man. Just want to say thank you, bro. For real, we do, you know what I mean? And we want to give you credit. We recognize your work, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not a easy thing to get up and constantly go up in them ridiculous state building and you don't have to sit up in there, you know what I mean?
The mouth of the belly of the thing that we fighting against, and look him in the eye every day, and punch him in the face every single day.
Right. It's not a game.
That's a different kind of thing. And so thank you for recognizing that.
And we just gonna I want to just read this one more thing before you go, right? And this is how the Lord planned on us getting our reparations, right? This is just one part. It's many parts in here, right? It's a lot, but we just gonna read this real quick. Give me Joel chapter 3. All right, I'm gonna read this to you, Chris, because you said something. You said it's a war, and it's gonna be a war for real. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a war. If you hear people in the church talk about Christ coming back, and we go to heaven, and yeah, but it's gonna be a lot going on.
Right.
When he show up, you know what I mean? It ain't gonna be that sweet. All right. Well, let's just start in verse 2.
Joel chapter 3 verse 2.
It's talking that mic.
Test. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
So the Lord said He's gonna gather all the nations together and bring them down into valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the valley of decision. Meaning some decisions is gonna get made down there, Chris. There's gonna be a fight going on down there. Go ahead.
And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel.
Come on, and the Lord said, I'm gonna plead with them. He's not gonna be like, oh, nations, please, just give them back their heritage. No, that means He gonna put some foot to butt. You know what I'm saying? For my heritage, Israel. Come on.
Whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
It said, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Right? So They took us, they scattered us all over the world into all these different nations all over the world. And they parted the land, meaning what? The land of Israel, right? You got the so-called white people in there, and you got the so-called Arabs is in there, in that land, right? And even when you go into the book of Ezekiel, it tells you that even the Americas belong to us, Americas and Israel, right? We didn't get that for you, but we may have to actually get that real quick, because this is what I'm saying. Chris, how they gonna pay us, Chris? They can't pay us. The Lord gave us the whole thing. Hey, you know what I want?
They could give it back.
Ezekiel, yeah, these two countries. That's 30. Huh? What you said, Chris?
They can give it
I
back.
said they could give. They could start by giving back what they took.
Man, they gonna have.
That's everything.
They can't do it. Chris,
Listen,
they
it's
right
not
now
my
they sitting up
problem.
like,
Like,
yo,
that's
what this
their
dude talking about?
problem.
Right.
Like,
They said Chris gonna come in here
us.
crazy on tomorrow when he show up in the building. He gonna come with more artillery.
It's not my problem. What you got to give me back? Like,
Right. Watch this. Listen to this, Chris. Go ahead.
Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 8.
Uh-huh.
And I will fill his mountains with his slain men.
Uh-huh.
In thy hills and in thy valleys and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolation, and thy city shall not return. And he shall know that I am the Lord. Because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine.
Right. The Lord said, I'm going to lay them down. That's what he talking about here when he going to talk about plead with the nations. He said he going to lay them down. Now, this is talking about a particular one of them nations, which is Edom, right? Which is the ones who had us here in captivity, the so-called white man. This is who he's talking to. He said, listen, I'm going to do this to you because you took the two nations, meaning the nation of Judah and the nation of Israel, right? Which is the 12 tribes put together, so-called blacks and Hispanics. You took them and you took the two countries, meaning the Americas, which the so-called Hispanics came over here, right? And the Americas was theirs. That's why you had the Native Americans and so-called Mexicans, so on and so forth. And then you had us on the other side where we had it on lock, right? So now go back to Joel 2 before you go, bro. We got to give you this because I want you to go to sleep well tonight, my brother. Right. You know what I mean? We got to know that some vengeance is coming. The Lord said, vengeance is mine. So we're not going to go out there and do nothing. No. But the Lord said, yo, you just hold on and wait for me. All right. Go to verse 3.
Joel chapter 3 and verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people.
He said they have cast lots, meaning what? Virginia sold to Mr. Johnson in Virginia. You know what I mean? They cast lots for my people. Come on.
And have given a boy for an harlot.
They gave a boy, meaning they took us and made us breeders. Okay, this is real stuff, bro. This is in the Bible.
Real. That's very
go
real.
ahead.
Yep.
And sold a girl for wine that they might drink.
When they had a party with our sisters, like you brought out earlier, the rape and all of that. Go ahead, read on.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
The Lord said, what do you got to do with me? When you brought out those African nations that sold us, right? The ones that sold us, they're not our people. Okay, we're different people than the so-called African people. Our people were in Africa, of course, but we're different people than who they call Africans today, the Hamites.
Absolutely.
That's why the Lord said, what you got to do with me,
Absolutely.
O Tyre and Zidon? Come on.
And all the coast of Palestine.
And you Arabs, what you got to do with me? Remember, you had the transatlantic slave trade and the sub-Saharan slave trade being discussed right here. Read on.
Will ye render me a recompense?
He said, will you render me a recompense? Come on.
And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head.
He said, I'm going to return your recompense upon your own head, meaning I'm coming for you now. Read on. Come on.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold.
Right. Go ahead.
And carried them into your temples. My goodly pleasant things.
Go ahead.
The children also of Judah.
The children also of Judah. That's the so-called black Americans today. Who you fighting for? This is what the Lord said. The children of Judah. Come on.
And the children of Jerusalem.
And the children of Judah is also the kingdom of Judah, right? And the children of Jerusalem, the kingdom of Israel. These were two separate. Israel had a split at one time, right? But these are the 12 tribes being discussed. Just want to put you up on that. Read on.
Have ye sold to the Grecians?
You heard that? Now, how real is this, Chris? He said, you Africans and you Arabs, you sold the Israelites to the white man. That's what it's saying. Did that not happen? Did that not happen, Chris?
Happened.
Right. This is what we reading. Come on.
That literally happened.
That literally happened. Go ahead.
That ye might remove them far from their border.
You remove them far from their border. Come on.
Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them.
Where you sold them in the Americas, all over the world, I'm going to raise them up right there. You see what I'm saying? That's why you see the Israelites coming together now. It's that time. The Spirit is here. I'm going to raise them up from where they at. Read.
and will return your recompense
Damn.
upon your own head.
He said, I'm going to return your recompense upon your own head. You understand? Chris, that's the reparations we waiting for.
Yeah, baby.
That's what we waiting for, Chris. Because then after that, guess what's going to happen? The gates is going to be open, like we told you before. All the rich is going to start coming in all day, all night. That's right. That's what we wait. And this ain't no pie in the sky, Chris. This is reality. You saw the prophecy. This is the reality of it. So we just want to leave you with that, my brother. And just to let you know, we're also in Sacramento. I don't know if you knew that.
I ain't know that. We definitely got to link up in person then.
Yes, we got to link up. If we don't have the wherewithal, we'd have had you just come.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we don't know how far you can't be that far, because when I came out here, it was like,
I'm
how
in
far away?
Midtown.
15 minutes.
Everything is 15 minutes away.
How far away is
minutes
how far away is Yard House? 15 minutes. Hey, you know what I mean? Everything is 15 minutes away, so I know we ain't far. But Lord's will, bro, we can get together and do some other kind of works. Maybe with the youth, something.
I would love
we got
to
to
work
make it
with y'all.
happen.
Please, let's
Hey,
make
yes,
sure
sir.
we connect
Hey,
in person.
Chris.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Hey, before you go ahead and shout out your social medias and things. Bro.
That's right.
I'm going to give you the organizational at CJEC official on IG, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. That's at CJEC official. Go follow us right now. www.cjec-official.org. Make sure you sign up for our monthly reparations newsletter. We put out all the news and what's going on with reparations. Sign up for the reparations text message action alerts, where we tell folks where to be at the Capitol, when to come and show up, and tell them how much money you want and all that. Sign up on the website www.cjec-official.org, and of course again at CJEC official everywhere else. Brothers, I appreciate y'all.
All praises. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chris. Right. Appreciate you.
Thank you for coming on to the squad, man.
Oh, please have me
The
back.
Nehemiah squad, man.
Yes, sir. All right, we're gonna stay in contact. Yes, sir. All praises.
All praises.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Chris is an excellent brother. You know what I'm saying? And these are the type of information that we need, and to show our people what is going on in the world today, but also what the Lord is talking about, because the Lord knows. Hey, it started with Marcus Garvey, and obviously before him, right, there was little things going, but Marcus Garvey was that first movement. Then you had the Elijah Muhammad's and the Nation of Islam's, and then you had the Black Panthers and the AIM and the Brown Berets and all these other things. And like the Lord said, I'm gonna save the prophets for last. And now the Israelites is here.
That's right,
for sure.
That's right. So we know we got brothers and sisters out there that's trying to fight the good fight, and Lord's will, they find the Lord, you know what I'm saying? And they follow us, and we're making ourselves that living example so they could come on in,
And you got to find the Lord before you get reparations. Otherwise, you're going to stay away from the Lord. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 8. Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 13.
Man, there was so many scriptures.
Give me that, man. Bring that.
Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 13.
Go ahead.
And when thy herds and thy flocks multiply.
When we multiply, come on.
And thy silver and thy gold is multiplied.
And that money was coming in.
And all that thou hast is multiplied.
Come on.
Then thine heart be lifted up, and thou forget the Lord thy God.
And that's the point, because when we got what we want, and we living it up, and we doing it big, we always forget about the Lord. So that's why you got to find the Lord before you come into something, because if you don't, it's just gonna fall. Right. Lord gonna put a hole in your pocket. That's what happens.
Yeah.
He said you put a bag in a bag that's filled with holes.
Right. Right.
That's what's gonna happen.
Real talk.
Go ahead.
Yeah. If we knew what God made, you know what I'm saying? If we knew, God knows what he made. I say that, right? And if you knew God knew what he made, we would take a different approach, right? Give me Psalms 58 and 3. If this entity of people had this thing called a conscience, this thing might actually work. It sounds good. Well organized, you know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
Consistency, fight, tap into the emotion of the entity.
Right.
But God know what he made. Let's read it.
Damn.
Psalms chapter 58 verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb.
The wicked, this entity, this people, they go estranged soon as they born. This is what the Lord said. Read on.
They go astray as soon as they be born.
Uh-huh.
Speaking lies.
Speaking what?
lies.
Speaking what?
Lies.
They speak lies. They speak lies. So you look at the Marcus Garvey movement. You back then they had the signs on their chest that I am a man.
Damn.
Now today we talking about 100 years later, Black Lives Matter. So we've been trying to talk to this people for years and years, and the pattern is lies, broken treaties, so on and so forth. And we reading about God. Ben done told us this. Watch this. Read on.
Their poison is like the poison of a serpent.
Uh-huh.
They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear.
Guess what? Hey, a snake don't got no emotion. You don't know if he's smiling. You don't know if he's hungry. You don't know.
Oh, wait. Them fangs that ain't smiling?
Yeah, that's yeah. Damn. That little tongue come out, and then you try. He said like the deaf adder, right? So a deaf adder mean he don't got no ears. So you could talk to it all you want, but it's not listening. It's just looking at you like, oh yeah, that's right. You want what? Okay, cool. Yeah, we're not doing that.
Right. Bite.
You know what I'm saying? Read on.
Their poison is like the poison of a serpent.
Uh-huh.
They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear.
You cannot reason with this people. You cannot talk to this people. You cannot vote to this people. This is a snake, right? Read on.
Which will not hearken to the voice of charmers.
They will not, no matter how sweet you talk to them, no matter how crafty we talk to them, no matter how much tact we use. It said it will not hearken to charmers. Read on.
Charming never so wisely.
Uh-huh.
Break their teeth, O God.
Oh, we have to pray to God to do what?
Break their teeth, O God, in their mouth.
Yep.
Break out the great teeth of the young lion.
So guess what? So far, God's telling you, hey, look, I made this entity to punish you for breaking my laws. I'm going to put them over you for a time.
Terrible.
Okay, Lord, let us try to vote our way out of it. God said, nope, your exit ticket is to keep my laws.
Right.
Your exit ticket is, and now if you want to try to vote your way out of it, that deaf adder going to bite you with that same poison asp. You're not going to listen to you. And
Bruh.
Eventually, we got to learn sometime.
You
right?
talking about the top thief on planet Earth.
Yes.
Yo, listen, man, I knew a lot of thieves in life.
Yeah.
Right? I don't remember ever them wanting to give anything back.
Never.
Ever.
But this man, yo, give me Obadiah, man. Give me Obadiah, verse 5. This man steals and takes and will never, ever give back.
Ever.
He will not repair anything. He's like, what did I do? I have done nothing. It was your fault. You allowed yourself to be slaves. Like Kanye said.
Right.
So therefore, I owe you nothing. Yo, give me verse 5, bro.
Obadiah, verse 5. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off?
Come on.
Would they not have stolen till they had enough?
Right. A normal thief is just going to steal till he has enough. A small time thief gonna come in your house with a bed, with the pillow, you know, the sheet, the pillow, what they call it, the pillowcase. He gonna come in there and be like Santa Claus. He gonna get enough and be like, all right, let me get up out of here.
I'm good.
Right? Another man gonna come with a truck, say, when this truck filled up, we up out of here.
Yeah.
No, not Esau, not the so-called white man. Look what he gonna do. Read on.
If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?
Damn, if the grape gatherers came, wouldn't they leave some? They can't take the whole vineyard. They just gonna take enough grapes to eat. Right? Read on.
How are the things of Esau searched out?
Damn.
How are his hidden things sought up?
Right. Esau takes everything. Yeah. Your land, your life, your name, your everything. What's your name again? Johnson? No, that's my name now.
That's our name now.
That's my name.
Bro.
Your name is nigger.
Esau took the grape, the vine, the root that came with it.
Right.
It took everything.
Right.
And put it in a laboratory.
Right.
Lord
Esau buy one grape from you and say, wait a minute. According to our laws, once we bought that grape, we actually own the entire land. You'd be like, what?
He said, you didn't read the fine print?
Yes, that's right here. We don't read. They don't read English.
Right.
Remember what Esau was doing? Esau in the Caribbean, when he was with the Northern Kingdom, he had them go. He was speaking to them in Spanish. They only spoke Hebrew. He spoke to them in Spanish, and when they didn't want to do it, he killed them, chopped off hands.
Yeah.
We can't trust this man.
Right.
We can't trust him. The man been lying forever.
Yeah.
We just brought out he was born astray. He was already estranged from the womb. He's a thief that refuses. He just takes everything. The Lord said, I'm going to destroy him because he said, I'm going to steal these two nations and I'm going to steal their land. You know what I'm saying? We all we can say is, all praises, for our brothers and sisters who are out there scratching and fighting. But the Lord said that ain't the way we gonna get it.
Nah, that's not the way
we gonna get it the way the Lord said we gonna get it.
That's not the way we gonna achieve the world again.
No.
We ain't gonna get the world again by that. It's not gonna happen.
No, because in
You
order
gonna
for
put your
us,
black ass in jail.
yeah, in order for us to rise up, somebody got to go lay down.
Yeah.
That's
right. Where's that at again?
Yo, that's in
Baruch?
Second Ezra. Is it
You'll get that, bro.
the one I'm talking about? Let me see.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter
Yes.
18, verse 7.
Come on.
So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and the destruction of the enemy.
And the destruction of the enemy. So it ain't no way that we're gonna rise to the top and be sharing the top
No.
with the enemy.
Right.
Nah.
He won't. He even looking at that as crazy. I'm not sitting up here with this nigga.
Yeah. No way.
No. Just the other day in Congress, I know we ain't got that much time, but the other day they was in Congress and some women was, I don't know, this congressman or what's her name, AOC, whatever. I don't know these people names. But now you got a sister up in there. She up in there with the ostrich eyelashes, right?
Yeah.
In the place. She's supposed to be a congressperson and she up in there with the eyelashes. And Esau looked over there and said, "Yeah, you're coming in here and you're talking to me with your eyelashes all over. Why don't you get your eyelashes?"
I seen that.
You see that?
Yeah, I seen that.
You think we're gonna get something accomplished with this?
No way.
Come on, this is a joke. This is a joke. When we cannot be together, even amongst the women. The white woman told a black woman, "Hey, you a nigga."
That one
You a
there
nigga.
was a violation.
Right? So that's why the Lord said, in order for us to come up, somebody got to go.
Yep.
And the head man right now is Edom. The Lord said, so of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and destruction of the enemies, man.
Yeah.
Right.
We got to love that. That's the faith and patience of the saints, man.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Hey,
Y'all got to understand that.
He was saying they got to give what they took back. The whole world belong to us, bro.
Yeah.
Give me
it's all
that
taken.
second Ezra chapter 7 and verse 10.
They seen Scarface.
The whole damn planet
world
was
is
made for
yours.
you.
I want the world, Chico. And everything in it. That's Tony Montana.
Bro, for real. You got it?
Second Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 54.
Come on.
And after these, Adam also, whom thou
I said
madest.
7 and 10, but that works. Go ahead.
And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures. Of him come we all. And the people also whom thou hast chosen.
Come on.
All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
The scriptures say, God said he made the world for our sakes, man. So in order for this man to give us back what he owed, he got to give back everything.
Right.
He got to pack up his bags and move back to the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia. You think that man about to do that? Hell no.
Nope.
Way.
It's not happening.
Nope.
Right.
It's not happening, man.
Nope. Hey, give me Revelation 11, man.
Bring it out.
Yeah, it's only going to be us, man. You know what I mean? We're going to be selfish as hell. We're going to be talking real crazy, too, when we get in there.
Yeah.
I told y'all before, nigga. I told you
say.
when I seen you last week, when I seen you this week. We're going to be talking real greasy.
Yeah.
I been was wanting to get at you. Yeah. Now, no. Shh. Don't say nothing, nigga. We're going to be talking greasy. We're going to be talking crazy greasy. Yo, give me that Revelation 11, man. Start at verse 1, bro.
Revelation chapter 11 and verse 1. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod. And the angel stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of God, and the altar, and them that worship therein.
Come on.
But the court which is without the temple,
Right, stop. With the court that is going to be outside of the temple. Go ahead.
leave out.
Leave out, right? Because there was a court, an outer court that was built before. The Lord said, this time when you build it, leave it out. Why?
And measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles.
Because that's where the Gentiles will be. But guess what? The Gentiles are going to be there no more. There's going to be no Gentiles, bro. It's the Israelites.
Yeah.
We're not sharing anything.
Right.
And
All we sharing out is ass whippings.
That's it.
That's it.
For real. The 144,000 ruling the world.
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy. I know it sounds like, oh, these guys really believe that. Yeah, we
it's
believe
happening.
it. Because we've seen everything else unfolding right in front of our eyes.
Exactly.
We just waiting for that part.
That's right.
That's going to be the best part.
Yeah.
That's right. He said we going to be handing out ass whoopings. Give me that Nehemiah chapter 13.
You know what you
You
want?
know what I want. You know what I want. Get ready and have it on point, man. This time do it right.
Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 21.
Yeah.
Then I testified against them and said unto them, why lord ye about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you.
What we gonna do?
I will lay hands on you.
What we gonna do?
I will lay hands on you.
All praise to the Most High.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all tuned into the Nehemiah squad, man.
Yeah. All praises, all praises. Yes, yes. All right. So, hey, somebody, what's our
Put that
social
graphic
media
up.
handles? I don't know our social media handles, but listen, I think it's just the Nehemiah Squad. Hey, what's the social media handles? Man? Somebody help me, man.
Put some stuff on the screen.
Oh, you
Put
gonna
it on the
up?
screen.
Put it up. Yeah, put it on the screen.
Put
man.
it on the screen.
Hey, listen, y'all. We need for y'all to follow on all those platforms, share, subscribe. You know what I mean? All that good stuff. They go to QR code. Use that. Get on there. All right. Subscribe. We got to grow this page. All right.
Man, everybody.
Yes. Yes. The Nehemiah Squad. Pass the word. You know what I'm saying?
Pass it
Late
around.
night fun. Late night education.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Damn, I forgot what's rocking next week. But we got some. Hey, we got some good stuff next week. We got the fraternities and sororities, the Black Greeks.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna deal with them next week.
Yeah.
We're gonna find
yeah.
out what the hell really going on up in there.
Yeah.
Huh, I tell you what's going on.
Yeah, they was
Gay man fly the plane.
Oh shoot. Yeah, because when we running around, they be calling us the Qs, right? Because we got the purple and gold. They call it. No, we not the Qs, man.
Yeah.
It's IUIC. But we gonna be dealing with all them brothers and sisters, and we gonna get to the bottom of a few things with that fraternity and sorority stuff, and we gonna be bringing out some
man.
beautiful history next week.
Yeah.
So
It's
Lord's
gonna
will,
go
y'all
down.
tune in.
It
All
is
right.
going to go down. Hey, put the QR code up one more time because they ain't get it.
They ain't get it.
They ain't get it. Make sure
Stand
y'all
in.
like, share, subscribe.
Yes.
The Nehemiah squad is here, man.
For real.
Tune
Hey,
in
listen, I don't know what y'all
every
did to
Monday.
that picture, but why y'all try to make my whole joint gray? Come on, ain't Come on. Yo, what is going on?
Hey, that's enhanced. That's
Yo, it's getting disrespectful by the minute up in here, man.
Yo.
Yo, y'all crazy as hell up in here. And they did that with a straight face, like, yo, push it out, go ahead.
yeah. That's
He ain't saying nothing the first time, just let it ride.
yeah. Just Shim looking like, what's this?
Yo, if you do this thing again, I'm going to lay hands on you, man.
Hey, we can get to 1,000 subscribers by tonight.
Damn.
1,000 subscribers.
Oh, shoot. He
get
said
it. We
1,000
can do
subscribers by tonight. Hey, listen, it's enough of us. All right,
do it.
y'all, hit
We
them
can do it,
subscribe
man.
buttons. Hit them subscribe buttons.
Let's
All
go.
right?
Let's go. Push them numbers up.
All right, y'all. All right, Most High in Christ bless
Most
y'all.
High in
Shalom.
Christ bless.
Have a great evening and the rest of your week. All right.
Yes,
See y'all
sir.
Saturday, Lord willing.
Good
Shalom.
show, y'all.
Yo, man, what's up? Why they keep playing with the team? I don't know, man. They ain't know that we dream team? I guess not. Yo, stop playing. So let them know.
I'm switching the lanes, no Tory. So hot, just call me Safari. I'm ice out, look at the glory. My ops gon' bow before me. Talk shit, then it's gon' be gory. Road dogs pulled up with a big strap. Real killer so cold, I ain't sorry. Me and BZ know we go way back. In the basement, whipping the playback. Mistakes, I done pay for my sins though. Took L's, now I'm coming for payback. These raps better know I don't play that. All the shit they talk, get traced back. Excalibur, look how I slay that. Like bad boy, take that.
Yo, man, what's up? Why they keep playing with the team? I don't know, man. They ain't know that we dream team? I guess not. Yo, stop playing. So let them know.